Hi everybody. So I am doing a video right now and I want you all to watch this video no matter what you're doing. Put your pens down, put your mobile phone down, unless you're watching me on your mobile phone, of course, because this is a classic example of how keywords and book titles can go wrong in the blink of an eye and you end up making no sales, like $0 for all that work, for all that effort, hiring designers, all that work that has gone into that book can just lead to zero just from keywords. Now, I'm doing this video actually to show you how to create a book title. I'm doing this video actually for Kelli Sefton, but I want to show you Kelli's own little journey with a book that she's been writing. And as I've been helping Kelli right now and trying to help her with the cover design, because she's hired as a designer, it wasn't quite right, decided to do it on her own. And then as I've done some research, I've realized the book that Kelli was creating is not profitable. So that's why it's so important that you watch this video. Right, let me share my screen and I'll explain to you what I mean. And then I'm going to go into a book cover design tutorial. So whether you stay for that part is completely up to you. I'll be designing a book cover. Yes, it's money and finance for teenagers, but you can use this style of book cover for any book. Like it doesn't have to be for teenagers. It could be for, I don't know, money, finance. What could it be for? It could be for mindset. It could be a colouring book. It's just a kind of design of a cover that is pleasing to the eye, and obviously people quite like it. Maybe teenagers, 20s, young adults, that kind of thing. And you could also tweak it and make it more for adults rather than teenagers. Right, so let me share my screen. I've frozen. That's nice. Are we going to have this again? My husband told me that he told me he'd fixed my computer, but I think I'm going to have to still do some tweaks. Right, okay, so this is Kelli's story, right? Kelli is creating a book for teenagers and it's money. Now, let me click on it. So Kelli had instructed a designer to create this lovely cover, and it's called Money Guide for Teens, 10 Smart Money Moves to Earn, Save, Give, Spend Wisely, and Grow Wealth, right? And then the designer came up with this design. Kelli then very rightly asked us all our opinions. Different people said different things to Kelli. One of my ones was, it doesn't really look like it's for teens. I hadn't, done any sort of research in the teenage market, but I was just looking at this and I've got teenagers myself. Well, one's just left the teenage years now. And I just thought, does this look like it's for teens? My instinct was no, it doesn't really. And also, do teenagers even have cash? Do they have coins? What is this with the plants and it's growing? Is that going to really resonate with a teenager? Does it look fun? Not really. So there's all sorts of kind of issues. And one thing I had said was I wouldn't really be willing to pay for this cover that I couldn't use. I would definitely go back to your designer and ask them to redesign it. Ideally, you want to work with a designer who will at least research the market for you and other book covers. If they're making you a money guide for teenagers, they want to at least research what other book covers look like for teenagers, unless you've said, I want it to look like this, I want it to be plain, I want it to have yellow title, white writing, I want it to have an arrow, and I want it to have coins on the bottom. If you've instructed a designer in that way, fair enough. But hopefully, designers that I've worked with have known the market. So, I would definitely be going back to the person and saying, I can't use this cover in its current format. And you want to be just really careful when you instruct a designer and be really clear and say, these are my top competitors and I want something not the same as this, but something a similar look and feel and vibe to these. So I suppose that's a bit of a learning exercise for us all in how we instruct a designer. Now, I don't actually know what happened with the designer with this, because I think Kelly has gone back to the designer, had it redesigned, but then she's had a go at it herself. So if I go down the thread here, then Kelly's had a go at it herself, and here she's got, like jeans and a pocket, and it does look more like it's for teenagers. But my concern was it was losing its kind of designed and polished look at this point. So that's what I then said, feedback for Kelly. And I said, if you've got some other teenage book covers, I could do a book cover tutorial, which is what I'm doing now for Kelly. But we can all use this book cover template once I've done it. So it's for everybody, really. But then this is the interesting part. This one says OMG official money guide for teenagers. But the last one, so OMG official money guide for teenagers. And the last one was money guide for teens. Now, when I then looked into the teenage market and I searched money in teens, they were all kind of saying money skills for teens, money management for teens, money skills for teens, earn money in your teens, money for teens, money management for teens. I've not put money management or money skills, but the money books for teens are all about money management and money skills. Can you hear those words? So important. Money management, money skills. Money skills, money skills, money skills for teens, money skills, personal finance for teens. It's very, very clear, isn't it? So if people are searching, it's very clear that when you put money in teens, people are searching money management for teens and money skills for teens. And what that means is if we publish a book that is money guide for teens, it's very unlikely to show up in anybody's search for a very long time until it gets lots of reviews and lots of sales and lots of money has been spent on it in paid ads. And we want our books to show up organically. It's probably not going to show up for the first few months whilst we're still getting a few book reviews. It's going to take a while to show up in people's searches. We're going to be relying on people to be scrolling down and really looking through the books list. But this one, when we go to the incognito window, which I'll do that now, this is how I know. So when I search the word money, I'm in an incognito window now. It doesn't know anything about my previous search history because I'm incognito. And can you see down this list, we've got money skills for teens. Money skills for teens is obviously the number one search that would suit Kelly. Money skills for teens, which tells me that the book needs to be called Money Skills for Teens. So as soon as we start to say money guide, can you see we've got money guide, money, a user's guide, complete guide to money. Guide to money and investing is showing up in that search bar. There's nothing about teens. So that tells me that if we call the book Money Guide for Teens, it's not going to show up. It's not going to show up in people's search because people are searching money skills for teens. Does everybody understand that? So if we could put money management, that's right at the top, isn't it? Money management for teens. Now, I don't know how many people are searching money management for teens versus how many people are searching money skills for teens. But what I do know is that people are searching those two search phrases and they're not searching money guide. Now let's try money workbook. Nope, that's not coming up. Money, it's not coming up for teens. Money journal. Nope, that's not coming up for teens. Money teens. Yeah, so if I put money in the word teens, money for teens, money skills for teens, there it is again. Smart money skills for teens, money management for teens and young adults, and money management for teens. So I wouldn't deviate on your book title from those phrases that are actually coming up. And what we can do then, if you've got a paid app called Book Beam, it's called Book Beam, I think. Let me go back. I think it's called Book Beam. Used it a few times. This is it. Book Beam. Let me see if I go back here. If I search for, in fact, I'm going to be doing some training on how to create word search books. And part of that training, if you want to create word search books, is using a software called Book Bolt. And that's really good for looking at how many people are searching different keywords and phrases. So if you want to create word search books, then I highly recommend that you get Book Bolt. But let me just see if I do money skills for teens. If I then click on this, oh, it's not letting me log in. I've probably not used it for too long, so I can't show you that. But basically, Book Bolt and Book Beam. In fact, Book Bolt, let's stick with Book Bolt because I know 100% that that works. You can go in and search your different keywords and phrases and see how many people are searching it, how many searches people are searching each month. So that is essential, isn't it? So what you will probably find is that nobody is searching money guide for teens. And that makes the difference from having a book that sells and that makes customers and that makes sales every month, and then having a book that nobody is ever searching for because nobody is searching money guide for teens. And when they search money in teens, even money in teens is bringing up money skills for teens and money management for teens. It's not bringing up money guide. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't pour loads of money into ads on this book and sell it organically on social media, bringing the BSR, the rate at which it sells as compared with all the other Amazon books, the BSR rate, bringing that up, and then it might show up later on down the line. It's not a complete fail if we give a book a title that nobody is searching for. But that was the first lesson that I wanted everybody to learn and understand, that we have to name our books on the cover, on the title, with some words or a phrase that people are actually searching. And then you can have, a tagline or a subtitle, again, with those keyword searchable words and phrases. Okay, so that is that. And let's now create a team book. So the interesting thing was I said, I can't remember, but I gave some advice on, what do the other team books look like? What do your competitors' books look like? And this is why it's so important to be inside Book Boss, because without being inside this academy, Kelli would have, if she would have gone off on her own and published this book, it would have been Money Guide for Teens, and it would not have had a book cover like all the teenage books that are selling really, really well. And if they're selling really, really well and they've got this typical kind of style of cover, then that tells us that the books that are selling the best, that have a very similar style of cover, then we need to be sticking with that style, because that's obviously the style that the mums, the parents, and the teenagers are actually choosing. So can you see these are very, very similar? I mean, this personal finance for teens is a little bit different, but I didn't see that in my search. And it's also personal finance, so it's under a slightly different search category there. We have to call the book personal finance and see what the other personal finance books look like. The same with this growth mindset for teens. Again, that is a different category. So we want to be searching growth mindset and see if teen books all come up. But these ones here, they all look very similar, don't they? Money skills for teens. The ultimate money skills handbook for teens. Money skills for teens. And this is why they've called the book Money Skills for Teens, because everybody's searching that phrase. So what we want to do, we want to aim for having a book that is titled Money Skills for Teens that looks better than these three. We want ours to look the best. And then, to be honest with you, I'm struggling here because these are really nice these are really nice covers. And what I would do if this was me, if this was my book now, I would be scouring Amazon to try and find a book cover that looks better than these three, that is aimed at teenagers. So it might fall under teen jokes. It might fall under teenage life skills. Do you know what I mean? So we're looking at the best-selling books that aren't running ads at the moment, that is selling, they're still selling organically, that haven't got bazillions of book reviews, that are doing really well in terms of sales, and that have got a stonking book cover, So now I would be spending I would be driving myself nuts and spending like 2 hours on Amazon trying to find a style of book cover that is better than this one, and this one. So this kind of bluey one, this sort of turquoisey green one, and then this green one down here. I'd be trying to find something better. You don't want it pink. If you have it purple, that could work for boys and girls, unless you're doing a book for teenage girls, which, by the way, I think there's probably a market for having another teenage girls book and a teenage boys book, because there seems to be quite a few books that are money skills for teens, but they're all making sales. So if you have a book that's similar to these and you put it out there in the market, chances are, for sure, if you call it money skills for teens and it's got a great cover, you're going to make sales. So it is a good bet to have a book like this that is the same as this. But I would say if we had money skills for teen girls and money skills for teen boys, and we bettered the cover of the book that is already out there, that is money skills for teenage girls, then it's going to do even better. So I'd be looking at which is making the most money, money skills for teens books or a money skills for teen girls book. Right, Kelly. I know I'm getting really, really intricate here, but the more that we get more intricate into these questions, the more you can divert your attention to, actually, I'm going to make double the amount of money if I do one for teen girls and one for teen boys. The teen girls book is going to make more profits than the money skills for teen books, because the parents are just wanting one specifically for girls, specifically for boys. And all you would have to do is just slightly alter the content of each book to make it for teen girls and for teen boys, which on the whole, it's going to be the same content, isn't it? So then you end up doubling your profits, and then even having higher profits because you separate it out between girls and boys. And I know there's lots of like ethical considerations of girls, boys, gender, I'm not even going to go into all of that, but um if it was me, let me look, actually. Let me look. Just out of curiosity, I'll show you what I mean. For money skills for teens. So let's see if there's money skills for teen girls. Yes, so here's one. So I want to know, what is this book making? Money skills for teen girls. Um, 16 sales a month, 15984. 15984 with how many reviews? It's not telling me how many reviews. Money skills for teen girls. Right, it's got 37 reviews. That's not very many at all. And it's already making $159 a month. And the cover is nice, but it's not blowing my socks off. It's not got all the lovely little images and stuff all around it. So there you've got money skills for teen girls, 58 reviews, 3 sales a month. Let me look at this one. So can you see this cover is completely let down this book? So they've still got money skills for teen girls, but because of the book cover there, I mean, there's no money on there at all. That is a really classic example of a really badly designed and thought out book cover. So that's why that book is making something like $3 a month. It's having three sales a month, and it must be $1 each. So, I mean, the problem with that is the cover. So anyway, I've spent enough time on this, but I hope this really helps you, Kelly, because I'd be tempted because the money skills for teens, let's have a look at these ones. Money skills for teens. Oh, I'm not in my incognito window. Let's see. Money skills for teens, that has got 475 reviews, 57 reviews. This one is making $923 a month with just 57 reviews. Could that be right? Yes, it's right. It's flashing in green. So that is this one, isn't it? Yeah, so that is earning a lot of money. A lot, a lot, a lot. And it's got a darker cover background. So it's telling me that the darker cover is more appealing than the lighter covers and then your typical covers. So this looks like the most successful book cover. This one is earning over $900 a month and they're not running ads and it's only got 50 reviews, which is really easy to get. Well, it's relatively easy to get. Like some of the others have got thousands of reviews. So I was thinking, should you do one for the girls and boys? Yes, that's great because then you've got two lots of books. If you do one for girls and boys and have similar covers to this one, that would be really savvy to have those two books and have a similar look and feel and vibe as this one without copying it. Or have a similar one like this that is basically competing against this one. So, it's a toss up between the two. If it was me, I would do the girls and the boys one if it was me. But you don't have to do what I'm going to do, what I would do. So if you just want one book and you're trying to get your one book out there and you've already written it, so let's go with Money Skills for Teens. It needs to be called that, even though the other books are called that, because that is the searchable phrase. Like nobody's going to say you're copying my book because they're naming the book the searchable phrase, and that's what we do on Amazon if we want to make money. That's what people just really can't get their head around that are not here inside the Book Boss Academy. So maybe I should keep this as a training video. I think I will. And I'm going to now do a separate video of how to do a book cover like that. I'm going to do a separate video. Okay, so I'm going to go. It's because I've been talking so long, but It's the strategy and the concept and the keyword phrase and the terms. That is the really hard thing for us all to get our head around. It is as simple as I've got to call my book the phrase that people are searching on Amazon. I've got to go and find the phrase that people are searching, and that has to be the name of my book. The problem is when we work with people who are passionate about what they do and they're business owners and they're experts, they're like, I want my book to be called this. Um, and then that's where you can get a bit of a clash for those of you who are here inside the academy looking at working with experts and doing like book collaborations and stuff. That's going to be like a tricky thing to get their heads around. Right, I'm going to stop this training. Make sure you do your keyword research. Make sure that the title of your book is going to be something that people are searching for all the time. Really popular searches, keywords and phrases is the title of your book. And I'll see you over in the cover design area inside the academy, and I'll do the design for the cover as well. Okay, bye.